Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning, Buddy Bloxham, Plans Chief for the park incident. It's August 3rd. It's your operational brief for the morning. Once again, please silence any conversations, any cell phones, radios. Please turn them down so you can get a good briefing. We'd appreciate it. Those in the back, if you could reduce your conversations, we'd appreciate it as well. There are no changes to the incident objectives or control objectives. Those can be found on page 1 of the IAP. Current situational update, night operation, Jeremy Pierce.
Good morning. We had a great day yesterday. Weather cooperated with us. Crews were all in, working and engaged the entire day. Starting down at the origin, still on a patrol status up the whole western flank through divisions Tango Delta, Tango Echo, through branch 10. Moving our way around. This little piece that's been causing us a little bit of grief over on the opposite side of Dyer Creek. They were able to get in there and put a good lick on that. It's looking good. They're feeling pretty confident that everything's going to hold. It's in a mop-up phase over there as well. Just difficult ground, difficult access, but they were able to get in. Coming around the top, the finger up by Manton, especially on that western flank, has been causing some problems. They were able to get some dozers and put some keyholes in there and really get in there and mop it up. Feeling pretty good about keeping it in its footprint. We need to continue with that as well. Coming around all the way, it's on patrol mop-up status. Still some smokes up in there. Crews worked really hard yesterday to knock most of those down. And then getting down into our branch 15, branch 18. This is where a majority of the work crews really got in here, went direct on it, took advantage of the weather and the decreased fire behavior from Antelope Creek all the way across to Yellow Jacket, and then from Yellow Jacket down to just above Mill Creek, and then started working their way up Tamarack Road, which is the rim of Mill Creek. They're improving that northern part of that line, going to make it drivable. That's what they were in the process of doing. They should be complete by this morning with at least a blade and an improvement needed. Coming around the other side, we held it down into branch 20, branch 18, held it in that Deer Creek drainage. It challenged our line multiple times in the morning, put some aircraft on it, only got a couple of drops on it. We had a spot fire, started at about 7 acres by the time it was really identified. It's up to 200 acres now. Aircraft was pulled off it due to weather, one disadvantage of the weather, but fire behavior moderated throughout the day. Crews are evaluating it. Super steep, super difficult terrain. It's not accessible, unable to go direct on that really. It's rocked out, it's cliffed out, et cetera. So they'll be working on a plan. Coming around down the far east side of this fire, all in a patrol status. Crews are mopping up, still a couple smokes, but not many. Great work yesterday. Thank you very much for hard days.
Weather, Jeff Tonkin.
Good morning. We continue to see a stream of mid and upper level moisture moving south to north across the region. Overnight and yesterday, we did not detect any lightning around the perimeter or really anywhere in Northern California. And the most measurable rain we've seen so far has been around the Grass Valley, Truckee area with just a few hundredths. Nonetheless, we are seeing some sprinkles here this morning across the generally the east side of the perimeter, and we'll continue to see that today. As well, and some light rain, but not expecting any heavy rain today, at least around the perimeter. The other thing that's happening with all this moisture and air movement going from south to north is we lost a lot of smoke. Still likely pockets of heavier smoke up in the northeast side here, but in general across the perimeter, it's much less smoke this morning. So for today, we're going to continue with this moisture stream moving across. We'll likely see sprinkles and very light rain across the area. And then around lunchtime or so, we might see a little bit of a break in that, a little bit more clearing and a little bit, possibly a little more sunshine. And then in the afternoon, I think we'll see a much better chance of thunderstorm activity across areas to the northeast and to the east. Generally eastern Plumas, eastern Lassen County, and seeing some lightning perhaps reflected up there. So the main issue today with that is that we could see outflow boundaries from those storms coming in from the northeast or the east and impacting the perimeter. And if we do see that, they'll likely be in that 25 to 35 mile per hour range. Also, it's a bit deceptive because with all this cloud cover and sprinkles and such, you would think it's moist, and it's not. I mean, the relative humidity recovery last night was not very low, or it was somewhat low compared to what we think it might be. So today it's still going to be fairly dry. Surface RHs likely down around 20% or so, and temperatures, well, it's already warm. It's going to become very warm again this afternoon. Winds, however, today will generally be light again, south and southwest on this side, south and southeast on this side, and generally about 8 to 12 miles per hour so in the afternoon.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
Okay, so continuing with the theme of deception, much in the same way as you just heard about weather, it's the same with fire behavior. So we're starting off with relatively low humidities comparative to what you would see in the sky. We have good cloud cover, and we have a little bit of sprinkles out there, but that doesn't mean that the fire has moderated completely. We did have some moderating conditions yesterday, especially up in the upper portions, and expect that to continue this morning. But as we get into the afternoon, especially as those clouds start to break, that moderation is going to go away. So expect, as we start to see sunshine over the fire, we start to see that heat, and we see the humidities continue to drop, that we will see an increase in activity, especially in these upper portions here, in those heavier fuels that did not really recover much with that humidity. So just be really heads up as we get into the afternoon, much like yesterday we talked about taking that tactical pause at 1400 to be aware of your conditions, what is the fire doing, and where are you at in relation to that. So coming around the fire, there's still that heat up there in the top part of branch 12, still interior heat in there that will continue to grow today in terms of just activity. Shouldn't threaten the lines necessarily, but it's not going to be covered by any kind of smoke shading. Now coming out along into branch 15 and 18, as that activity picks up on the further south portions, it's going to shade out these northern portions up here with some of that smoke. So it'll moderate some of the fire activity just due to smoke shading north of Mill Creek. Coming down into that Mill Creek and Deer Creek area, that spot fire is there on the north aspect. It's in heavy fuels. It's going to continue to grow. It burned, as you heard, up to 200 acres at this point, and it's continuing to move. And it will continue to do that. That rough terrain is going to make it really difficult for anyone to get much in there. So Deer Creek will start to shade that out as you get into the afternoon, but this is where that activity is going to be most prominent. Deer Creek area and into Mill Creek, it's going to have fresh air. The clouds will break, and you'll have the opportunity to see some activity in there. So expect some spotting, expect activity in those clear cuts. They're really receptive to receiving spots, and then in that reproduction area of producing spots. So really be aware of where you're at today. One advantage with this condition is that aircraft fuel should be more available today. Less smoke over the fire, clouds lifting out, so more opportunity for that aircraft to get in. So I'll take all that and have a good productive shift.
Safety Officer David Morrison.
Good morning. You'll find today's safety products on page 8 and 9 of your IAP. Please utilize these products to brief your crews prior to doing any work on the line. Document that on your 214 for accountability. It's the beginning of August. It's already been a long summer for a lot of our folks. So please check your crews for fatigue, work hard when it's time to work, and rest them when it's appropriate to do so. Maintain your situational awareness. Be ready for the changes to weather, terrain, and your work assignments. It'll come quickly. You need to be able to adjust to that quickly as well. Be safe.
Park Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. So a week ago, we looked back, for those who've been here that long, different circumstances. The thing was really cranking, and we were just trying to figure out, okay, how do we put an operational plan together to combat this thing? And difference a week makes. Through a lot of good, strong, aggressive firefighting, we've got to where we are now. We are right there where we are just starting to get to the point where we can pinch this off and put this thing to bed. So our operational priorities today is going to be, our first one is going to be branch 15. That line's gotten direct, continuing down, right down to Mill Creek, and parallel that, good plan in place. Second priority, branch 18. Again, they're right there across that drainage, Mill Creek drainage from branch 15 They're going to start working their way parallel. And the two branches have been in communication, putting together a plan. They're going to continue to put together the plan moving forward and figure out how we're going to close that piece off. Our third priority today is in branch 12, just completing that last bit up there. It's been pretty stubborn. We want to make sure that's completely out and tied in and put it to bed so that we don't have to worry about it. So if we do have any significant changes in the weather, all that heat that's built up in those drainages with those fuels, that does not become a factor for us. So those are our three priorities today, 15, 18, and branch 12. We've talked a lot about throughout the week, having a good, strong, measured approach, a safe-minded approach to this, because this is a very dynamic incident, very hazardous conditions on so many fronts and levels. We've talked about having a very methodical, focused approach. We've talked about how we were going to take care of the adversity when this has been a bit of a roller coaster ride for us. And we've talked about yesterday's situational awareness. So with all that in mind, putting all that together, the way we have success is that, as the IC has said, we are on the offense, okay? So, like we said, fight fire aggressively, but fight for safety first. We are now into fight fire aggressively. Continue that aggressive mind approach. We've got all those other factors in play that we can be aggressive with this and have success. So your operational guidance, your leadership intent from the operations section is we want you to fight fire aggressively like a champion today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. Once the air clears and we are able to get the aircraft up, we will fight fire aggressively, just like Chief Brunton said. So today we have one air attack and two S2s available this morning on early up at 0900. Helco will be going up about 8:30, checking the air and see if we can get our air assets up, starting to hit this fire as hard as we can. We have 3 helibases with multiple aircraft available. The Chico helibase on air-to-ground 15. We have a MRB, and we have at the Tehama zone, we have the Spring Ranch helibase. We have the Red Bluff helibase on air-to-ground 8. We have Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3 helicopters available for any mission that we need. 10 of those copters are California National Guard. Our night water droppers are available upon request. Air rescue, we have the Cal Fire Hawk Copter 606 for daytime. Night rescue, we have Copter 840 coming out of Reading. Our UAS modules are available tonight. We have 2 of those. PG&E has been cleared to fly through Helco. Anytime that we can get the air clear for them, we get PG&E up. Remember, have your situational awareness at your top of your game today. Have a good day.
Communications, Tom Webb.
Good morning. We are now still on the NIFC system. We're going to be staying there hopefully for the duration. So if you look at your radios, you're looking for version 4 is the newest clone. If you have any doubts, come and see us in the communications unit. You have to have been cloned on this incident to have this system in your radio. There's a lot of special frequencies in there, so come and see us. With the NIFC system, what frequency might work in one spot for you, one repeater, as you go over a hill or around a bend, it could change. So you need to hunt and peck, change channels to see what works in that spot you're standing at that time. One other note this morning, C4 off of Mount Lassen is currently down. We have crews en route to get it repaired by air and ground, and hopefully we'll have that back up and in service by noon, and communications will make an announcement when that's back in service. So if you have any questions, come see us in the comm unit and make it a safe shift.
Medical, Chris Urey.
Good morning. Today's medical plan's on page 84 in your IAP. At the bottom of the 206 is the reporting instructions. If you have a line emergency today, please brief your crews on those reporting instructions. And if you do have a line emergency, please follow them. Today we'll have Fireline EMTs and medics out on the line for you today, along with RIMS teams and dedicated ALS ambulances. We do have CalMat and MERT located here at the Butte base and also at the Tehama base. If you have any issues, you can come see us in the medical unit. We're located in the building right next door, or the medical unit leaders at the Tehama base. Have a safe shift.
Logistics, Steve Doman.
Good morning. For those of you assigned to the Butte base, you can find your facilities map on page 89. For those assigned to the Tehama base, you can find your facilities map on page 90. On page 92, you're going to find a QR code. Under that QR code, you'll find additional logistics, supply, ground support messaging. under the IAP folder. As a reminder, if you leave any durable items out there on the line, you're going to require a CAL FIRE 101 with division or higher signature on there to replace any items out of supply. Thank you. Have a safe shift.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you could turn to page 85 in your IAP. I have the most recent numbers for your status box if you're clear to copy. For acreage, we're at 400,956. That's 400,956. Containments at 27%. That's 27%. Total personnel is at 6,501. That's 6,501. Just to the right of the page, you'll see the two QR codes. The first one's the state penal code. It allows the media to enter scenes of any disaster. Just below that's our CAL FIRE social media policy. Please become familiar with both of those. We are collecting any photos that you may have, our trailers at the entrance of base camp. For lost and found, we have a few items. One communication device, and if you happen to have lost your California driver's license plate, please come see us. At the bottom of the page, we added the Tehama shipping address. Please use those formats for your shipping label. Have a safe shift.
Finance, Roger Rains.
Hey, good morning. On page 92, you're going to find a QR code that will take you a link to a number of additional documents that are part of the IAP, one of them being the finance message. You'll find our finance message there. You'll find the finance message for our federal counterparts and where to check in. You'll find the cost share reporting guide. And at the bottom of this page are two QR codes, one for the water source reporting and one for damage claim reporting. On the damage claim notes, we have some areas that we're starting to do mop up and patrol in, and we're trying to button those up. If you see any suppression damage, please get those to comp claims in either zone. For my CAL FIRE employees, remember the last day of the work period is tomorrow, so please get your e-pay updated and get your e-pay for next work period updated so we can carry on to FC33s. If you need shift tickets, you can go to the finance section in either zone. Thank you.
Good morning, folks. My name is Gwendolyn Ozard, Planning Section Chief for the Park Fire. Please stay put and you'll receive some Tehama Zone specific briefing information. Up first, roll call and division assignments.
Good morning, Julie Rhodes, Resources Unit.
Good morning, Kent Cunningham, Tehama Operations.
Starting with Branch 10, Novak. Tehama Delta Echo, Brookins. Hotel Juliet, Shobosh.
Okay, Branch 10, everything's been holding, everything's been looking really good. Antelope Creek today, that's where we need to go, as well as off of 36 around the Blue House. Let's finish what we've started. Let's put this to bed so we can start condensing some branches and some divisions.
Branch 12, Stalker. And Emmerich. Tehama Lima, Kenyon. November, Peterson.
All right, Luke. We've been up there in Tehama Lima, Tehama November. We've been battling that in the brush. We didn't choose it. That's not where we wanted to fight it, but that's where the fire went. And it continues to give us trouble. Everything's staying within the line. Continue to push. Continue to work in there. Get the helicopters up early. Like we talked about before, it's not the stuff on the line that's going to affect us. It's the stuff interior in that dirty burn in that 12-foot high brush.
Branch 15, Bakken. And Frederick. Tehama, Quebec, Miguel. Uniform, Thomas. And McGaffey. And Whiskey, Peterson. And Welch.
Okay. Branch 15. We've been doing great work in there. We've been grabbing little chunks coming from north to south. We have to get that mopped up today. As we come down and we start turning the corner and we start paralleling Mill Creek, we need to get that line and continue to push to the northeast and look for an opportunity to come down into Mill Creek.
Contingency Asadas. Tehama Contingency Morris. Tehama Group 3 Watkins and Callahan. Group 4 Geary. Mineral Group McCurtis. Shasta Contingency Fields. Shasta Group 5 Cowan.
Okay, a lot of great work done from west to east across the head of this. Now we're turning down and we're starting to head south. Make sure it's bulletproof, make sure it can hold. We're doing great work. Hopefully it doesn't come into play on this one, but that will be good line for future incidents.
For Tehama Suppression Repair, Schultz.
Gabe, thanks for coming, man. We got a lot of dozer line in here. We got a lot of things going on in here. We need to start today down here in Tehama Delta on the south end, and we need to start working north. The timing should be right as you get up there and you start coming around, suppressing all the dozer line and everything that we put in. We're hopefully putting this to bed. The last thing I want to share with our line leadership and everybody out here today, success breeds complacency. We've been very successful the last couple shifts over this thing. Do not let your guard down. Continue to go direct, continue to have your LCS in play, and let's have a great day.
Medical.
Good morning, Steve McGarry, Tehama Zone Medical Unit. Just as a reminder, the medical plan is on page 84. I want to draw your attention to the information in box 6, that is the line emergency reporting information, as well as the landline to Park Communications. In the event that you need any resources, please go through your chain of command and request those resources and provide the information in box 6. As a reminder, we do have some out-of-state resources here. If you are an EMT intermediate or a paramedic level provider, need to get some information from you to get you temporary recognition. My trailer is near the cloning trailer. If you look to the right, there's some papers. I need to record your information to get that to the locals. If you have any questions, I'll be off to the side of the stage. Thank you.
Communications.
Good morning, Mike Heffron, Comm Unit Leader. Please turn to page 81 of your IAP. As you heard earlier today, C4 went down, but they have a plan in place to get that fixed by noon today. If you're unfamiliar of where those NIFC repeaters are, I'd like to pull your attention to the map. So starting in the north, that northeast corner of C4, that is Mount Lassen. Sawmill Peak is in that south end right here. Colby is due east from the heart of where that fire is at. Turner Mountain is in that northeast corner in that Tango Union, Tango Whiskey area. And Tuscan Butte is all on the west side. Once again, with these NIFC repeaters, we need to ensure that if you guys can't get on one, you gotta try the other. You need to hunt and peck. So if you're successful, please jot down on your 214 that you are successful on what command NIFC repeater, so you know and you can spread the word out to your folks on the field. Also, today, V4 is still the clone. Line leadership, please ensure that everybody in your division, everyone in your branch has that V4 in their radio. We have a lot of people coming from different ICPs, different base camps here. We need to make sure we capture those people here. Cloning is available over there. There's a trailer over there that says cloning. We can get them cloned to ensure they have the best thing. One last thing, with all these NIFC repeaters, once again, you need to make sure you're shopping for that best communication before you guys go in there. Mark it down on your 214 and make sure everyone has that so we can have the best productivity and best safety for you guys today. Elevation and power are your friends. If you can't get out, try getting to a higher spot and you might have more success getting out and having good communication. Thank you. Have a good shift.
A few reminders for folks. At the conclusion of briefing, please go to your division breakouts. They are posted around the briefing area, starting with Tehama Delta Echo on your left and extending all the way behind the briefing area and ending with contingency on your right. If you are an unassigned resource at the conclusion of briefing, please meet with the resource unit leaders at the table where you got your IAP. There are QR codes posted on your division breakout signs, and those are for photos to send to the PIO. Our next cooperators meeting will be today at 1000 hours in the Tehama room. Our next planning meeting is at 1700 hours, and our next operational briefing will be here tomorrow, same time, same place. Tehama County Sheriff.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to give a quick briefing update on yesterday's briefing that I gave you. Our patrol staff did some very diligent work contacting probably in excess of 100 people in our hunt for our suspect on our thievery, and I'm proud to report that the thieving bastard surrendered last night to our staff. So we have him in custody. He is in the jail where he'll stay in one of our habitual offender beds. It's probably the safest place for him to be right now with all the stuff my guys churned up trying to get him in custody. So we're proud of that and we're thankful, and we will continue to work for you as you continue to work for us. Thank you very much.
Closing comments, Incident Commander.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Dusty Martin, Incident Commander for the Park Incident. A couple of things today. As I look around here, we've got a lot of resources out here. We're pushing over 6,500 personnel on this incident, which is a staggering number of personnel for one incident. You heard ops today talk about complacency. Please do not get complacent out there. We know what this fire did in the first couple of days at a burn rate of 5,000 acres an hour. We're starting to set up back, as you heard from the IMET and the F-band, over the next couple of days, we're setting back up in that same weather pattern. So today, as we have these opportunities with the cloud cover and smoke cover, I need you to take all those opportunities that are out there and go out and try and grab another piece of line and turn it into black. We have a lot of focus, yes, up on branch 15, but we can't lose the ground we've already paid for. You all have put in a tremendous amount of work on that west side, and we do not want to lose any of that hard work that you have put in. Please pay close attention to that weather and your F-band message as you go on through the day. We heard we have a potential for spotting out in front of this thing. Let's make sure we're paying attention. We've got our lookouts out there if we're putting people into those steep drainages. Need to ensure that we have a good, hard day's work today. And so we can set up the next shift to continue on. That Mill Creek drainage is not going to be an easy piece of line and continue through, and Branch 15's got their work cut out for them once again today. As some of our community members have not made good choices, and the sheriff spoke today and they've rectified that, I ask each and every one of you to make good choices and have a productive day today. Thank you.
That will conclude our operational briefing. Please go to your division breakouts, and for those of you that turn your cell phones and radios off,